Look, Dr. Secondhand, I don't want to steal your thunder or rain on your parade.
It's a terrible mixed metaphor.
But I'm going to have to insist that you give me my uncle's hour back.
Oh, that's a bad metaphor. You just disgusting.
Give it back!
No! It's mine and that's that. Any questions? Yeah.
What did you do before you became a daylight savings time pirate?
Well, I was an orchestra conductor.
You! They let you near an orchestra.
Why, of course. In fact, I was very good at keeping the time. Why, I conducted all the great operas.
Oh, really? All the Italian operas?
Yes.
And, the German one.
Naturally.
And the, Russian?
Of course, the car. That's how I got my doctorate in musicology.
So you're not a real doctor, then you're just...
Watch it, punk! We PhDs are very sensitive about that. Any other questions?
Yeah. Why are you dressed that way?
Do you think it's too much? I mean, I've got a scarf that's just black if you wish.
Yeah, that would be better. But you should keep the ridiculous laugh, don't you think, Kyle?
Oh yeah, the laugh is definitely working for me.
Oh, thank you! Thank you so much. You know how much that means to me. I put a lot of time and effort into that laugh.
Well, it shows.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate the feedback.
Hey, no problem.
It really does mean a lot.
Well, good. So, may I have my uncle's extra hour back now?
No.
Seriously, come on, dude.
No! There. As soon as my system absorbs your great-grandfather's
Oh,
hour...
it's a great uncle.
Whatever! Like I was saying, as soon as it's in my system, I'll be able to jump an hour ahead of you two. You'll never be able to catch up with me then.
Damn you, Dr. Secondhand!
But wait, doesn't that mean you'll be spending an extra hour just to have successfully stolen an extra hour? That sounds like a wash to me.
Hey, it's only a hobby. That's funny. I really should have jumped ahead of you two by now. But you're still here. Say, you two weren't already here now before I got here now, were you?
No.
I don't understand it. The lid was screwed on tightly and everything. There's just no way it cannot...
Let me look at that. You know, there's something funny now that I think about it. March 3rd, 1996. March 1996 of Korsakov!
What?
Well, in the 1990s, daylight savings didn't begin in March. No, that came later. Okay, in other words, at the time of Hugo's death, daylight savings began in April.
I don't get it.
Look, Kyle, if this were actually Hugo's bequeathed hour, it would say April 7th, not March 3rd.
So that means that this hour's...
Precisely, a forgery!
What? Let me see that. Damn it! I knew this looked familiar.
What?
This is my forgery.
What?
Yes, I remember it now. I was using someone else's extra hour from 1996 to go back to 1996 to substitute this forgery for your Uncle Hugo's hour so that I could make off with the real one.
Once again, I must point out that you're simply using one pilfered hour to acquire another pilfered hour. There's no net gain.
Oh, shut up!
So then, what did you do with my uncle's hour?
I haven't the faintest idea. 1996 was a long time ago, you know.
Look, Dr. Secondhand, you've had your fun.
Well, it wasn't that much fun, really.
You owe me. An hour and 18 minutes to be precise. Small time.
Yeah!
Yeah.
And your Argyle sock.
No, we still have that.
Actually, that's also a forgery.
A forged Argyle sock?
Yes, it's just a crafts thing. A cheap old gym sock with some Argyle glitter on it. I had an Etsy shop at one time, you know.
I don't care about your Etsy shop. You owe me an hour and 18 minutes of just what do you plan to do about it?
Hey, okay, calm down. Let's see. Oh, I know. there's a little piece of property I have out the Cape.
Yes?
Beautiful place, fully renovated. And I tell you what I'm going to do. In exchange for your 78 minutes, I'm going to give you 79 minutes at this lovely beachfront property, whenever you like.
Well, I guess that'll be okay. I mean, as long as there's nothing shady about it, do you promise us that you have the legal right to use this property and to let us use it?
And you'll rent it to us for minutes instead of money.
Yeah.
Why, of course! You see, it's a timeshare.
Good to see Flava Flav still getting work as a supervillain. So, I talked earlier about being a big comic book nerd, but I wasn't just a comic book nerd, and despite the Star Trek uniform, I was a massive Doctor Who fan, a huge science fiction geek growing up. My greatest joy in life was coming home every day after school and watching Doctor Who at 7 o'clock on WGBH out of Boston. And yeah, all right, my Boston people. But this was, of course, way before it was cool to like Doctor Who. I was totally influenced by the show. I even wanted to have one of those really super long multicolored scarves. And so in my high school, there was essentially a geek hierarchy. And in the way that bullying kind of rolls downhill, at the top of the hierarchy there were the Star Trek fans. And it was kind of okay to like Star Trek. Like your dad watched Star Trek, and people would get it if you said live long and prosper. They'd get the reference. And the Star Trek fans would pick on the Doctor Who fans, of which there were 3 of us. Me, my red-headed pale best friend who worked in the comic book shop, and the only Puerto Rican kid in Barnstable High School. Were huge Doctor Who fans. And of course, we'd all pick on that one Blake 7 fan. But we were seriously giant geeks. We even played the Doctor Who role-playing game. We weren't cool enough to play Dungeons and Dragons. No, that was far too cool for us. We had to roll a 12-sided die to see if we could regenerate. And we would hang out and talk about what we could do if we would travel in time, about things like the grandfather paradox, which is where if you were to go back in time and kill your grandfather, and then if you did that, would you cease to exist, and then your grandfather wouldn't be dead, and there'd be this massive wibbly wobbly timey-wimey sort of time loop? Which leads us to the question that our next play asks. What would you do if you could? Clap for them!
Is it ready?
Just about.
Stacy, you are a genius!
I am. And this is my masterpiece.
Forget about the frozen mice. This thing is gonna change the world!
I'd forgotten the mice.
Like it never happened.
This will work. The first actual fully functional time machine. Capable of sending a person back in time and bringing them home again.
Not frozen.
Nope, alive.
Cool.
You ready?
Yeah, so I go back, shoot him, we're heroes.
Bear in mind, once you shoot him, history is gonna change.
What do you mean?
Right now, Hitler's an evil despotic dictator who started a war and killed millions of innocent people. You go back to Berlin in '33, you're assassinating the chancellor of a minor political party. Which is the whole point.
So when I get back, I won't have saved the world from an evil dictator. I'll have capped a minor political figure no one's ever heard of.
You will have saved the world. But the world won't know. You'll just be a political assassin.
Will I know?
Oh, you'll know. I won't. That's the whole thing with time travel. As soon as the world changes, that's the way it's always been. We could have done all this before. We wouldn't know. When you get back, explain to me why you did it. I'll trust you.
Cool.
You ready?
Yeah, turn it on.
Switching it on.
I didn't even have the chance to get in.